Tesuque. Good morning. My name is Mark Mitchell, former governor for the Pueblo of Tesuque. I'm going to give you a little history on Ogap Ogi. Ogap Ogi is Tesuque Pueblo, and Tesuque Pueblo is Ogap Ogi. I say that because as a young man, young little boy, growing up with my grandmother, her name was Lorencita Pino. She was a potter from Tesuque Pueblo, along with extended family, Mr. Diego Herrera, Mr. Juan Jose Pino, and others who always talked about Ogap Ogi. And mind you, growing up, I only caught on to the last Ogi. So whenever my mom and others would say, we're going to town, they would say, going, Gip Ogi man. And that's all I knew. So one day me and my grandmother were the only ones home, so I asked her, what does that mean? And she said, well, sit down, because this is a story you need to know. I said, okay, so we sat there and she started by way of saying, in reference to the migration of the Pueblo people, pre-contact meaning Columbus, meaning Coronado's expedition, pre-contact, time immemorial. We don't know exactly what time of the year it was, but Pueblo people were migrating from the north, and here in this vicinity is where our ancestors, Tesuque Pueblo, put their roots down. Now, she told me the number of people in that village number over 10,000 at that time. And so the location of the bigger village is out over here by the cathedral. There are two other smaller pueblos that were located over by the convention center, and the other two were located on Agua Fria. So if there's any archaeologists out there, that's LA1 and LA2. They're the ruins down by Agua Fria. And she talked to me about, this is where home was. This is where the people made their home. But for whatever reasons, knowing that things were going to change, they decided to move. And they moved 4 times before coming to our roots here where we're located now. They're in Tesuque Pueblo. Now the word Tesuque comes from the Spanish because they couldn't understand or how they hear Tesuque, so they use it in their own means by saying Tesuque, but it's actually called Tesuque Uinge, place of the cottonwood trees that grows in the narrow row. So since that time, it was all oral history for me. Everything was oral until 2005, when I became or was appointed governor for the Pueblo of Tesuque. At that time, the city of Santa Fe, under the leadership of then Mayor Larry Delgado, decided to do a project here in town at the convention center. And what they wanted to do was build out the convention center to the whole city block. But unfortunately for them, and fortunate for us, they came across ruins. They came across burial sites. And for me, this is what I told them. The only thing you did for me and my people in Tesuque is you strengthened our oral history by way of finding what was found. Human remains were there. Pueblo kiwa structures were still there. Pottery were still there. Everything that I was told in our oral history, in my oral history, that all came out. So today, as leaders of Tesuque Pueblo, we say to everybody, welcome to the homelands of Tesuque Pueblo, because you're standing on our homelands. And let us not forget that in today's world and society, there's always got to be scientific data. There's always got to be some type of proof. But if you really look at the landscape, there's a lot happening out there. And part of our traditional and religious ties are into the land. So we wanted to share this today on Indigenous Peoples Day so that everybody understands that you are standing on Tesuque homelands, ancestral homelands. And I hope that I've given you a little bit of what I was told by my grandmother and those that I mentioned before. So with that, again, welcome to the ancestral homelands of Tesuque Pueblo. My name is Mark Mitchell, former governor, and I am the current Tribal Historic Preservation Officer for the tribe. Thank you.